Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Prabhupada, all glories to yourself.
Hare Krishna, Shamananda Prabhu, Baladev Prabhu, and all the assembled devotees, my obeisances for you. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Today, you will be happy to know that we also have Rukmini Mataji and Mandakini Mataji. They have joined us on this last day of our Braj Katha. So, if you are ready, we can begin.
I am never ready, but I'm ready for whatever you want me to do anyway.
We are all eagerly awaiting to hear from you.
So, should I begin?
Yes.
Shavantu, Rasikacharya could start online.
Yes.
Okay.
We can begin, Prabhu, already.
Maharaj needs to be unmuted.
Om Gyantimidandasya Gyananjana Chalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirbishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatharine. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanshakalpa Tarupyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Bhavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Brinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. My sincere obeisances to all of the assembled devotees and my heartfelt gratitude to everyone who is here today. We are gathered to fulfill the wish of our beloved founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. As was explained to us just a few minutes ago, Srila Prabhupada, when he was living in his very small holy rooms at Sri Sri Radha Damodar Temple, just beside the Samadhi and Bhajan Kutir of Srila Rupa Goswami, he had a prayer that the will of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the will of the six Goswamis, which came down through his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, would be fulfilled. And he prayed for the empowerment to do so. In fact, after he departed from his eternal home of Sri Vrindavan to go to Calcutta, to board the Jaladuta, a cargo ship, before doing so, he went to Sri Mayapur Dham and spent a day praying for the mercy of his Guru Maharaj at the Samadhi of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada. And after great efforts and tolerating so many setbacks with love and enthusiasm, Srila Prabhupada established his movement in New York City on 2nd Avenue. And he called it the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. This idea of society is where people come together. Community, society, we come together for a common purpose. Actually, in the eternal spiritual world of Goloka Vrindavan, it is a society. Krishna is not alone. No devotees are alone. Everyone is interconnected. Everyone is a well-wisher, knowing that what pleases Sri Radharani, what pleases Krishna, is for everyone to be happy, loving Krishna and feeling Krishna's love. A society for Krishna consciousness. A society where our primary purpose is to come together to inspire and help one another to remember Krishna. To remember Krishna, to serve Krishna, to chant and hear his glories and his names in such a way that Krishna is pleased to shower his mercy upon us. In Sri Mayapur Dham, Sri Vasangam is considered to be none different than the place of the Rasa Leela of Vrindavan. And there, Sri Radha Govinda Dev in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the Sakis and the Gopis and the Gopas, they would dance and chant together in the forms of the associates of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And still, as was exhibited in several pastimes, an example, Mukunda. When Mukunda Dat was being neglected by the Lord, all the devotees, Srivasa, Dvaita, Gadadhar, Haridas, Nityananda Prabhu, they had all received the most intimate, loving blessings and darshans of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Chaitanya literally fulfilled all their very soul's desires. But still, when they saw that Mukunda Datta was in sadness because he was not feeling connected to the Lord, all the devotees cried. They all pleaded and begged Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that give your mercy to Mukunda Datta. And of course, Lord Chaitanya did in a most extraordinary way. In this pastime, the Lord reveals to the hearts of his devotees what a society for Krishna consciousness is. that every devotee is really a well-wisher of all other devotees. And we're all trying to uplift each other, despite our shortcomings, despite our mistakes. And it's in this spirit that we can actually perform Sankirtan. This was the mood of the devotees toward each other at Srivasangam. And the kirtan that they performed throughout the night and throughout the days was in this spirit. Srila Prabhupada established the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, a society where devotees are not motivated by egoism or selfishness, but are very much eager and concerned to uplift each other. Like the different parts of a body, if one part of the body is in a diseased condition or injured, then every part of a healthy body will send positive energy to heal it. Sarve Sukhano Bhavantu. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he taught us this, and Srila Prabhupada would often quote it, that the very basis of all the Vedas is let all beings be happy. And our movement is meant to establish that culture, first among ourselves, and then we could actually expand it in so many ways throughout the world. Among Lord Chaitanya's associates, we find so many different types of people. Haridas Thakur, who would just live in jungles, who was considered an outcast. And then there was the great Pratap Parudra, who was a king living in a royal palace. There was Suklambar Brahmachari, who would go out and beg. And there was Buddhimanta Khan, who was a wealthy person who arranged an incredible marriage ceremony for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Vishnu Priya. Advaitacharya and Nityananda Prabhu, they would often have strong disagreements, but they taught us how we could disagree with love and respect for one another. So this is the Society for Krishna Consciousness that Srila Prabhupada entrusted to each and every one of us. In the holy land of Sri Vrindavan Dham, there's no envy. Sri Radharani is the supreme most beloved of Sri Krishna. And everyone, the limitless devotees who reside in the spiritual world of Goloka, everyone is just trying to assist Sri Radharani to make Krishna happy. Nanda and Yashoda, all the elderly gopas and gopis, they're all just trying to assist them and assist each other. In fact, every cow, every peacock, every tree, the rivers, the kunds, everyone is assisting one another to give happiness to Sri Sri Radha Gopinath. This seems to be a very imaginative, theoretical idea in this world, especially living in Kali Yuga, a time when there is such powerful inclinations to quarrel, to live with hypocrisy. Srila Prabhupada explained, in this age, any situation can create rivalry and fighting, envy and hatred, in the names of so many different isms, religions, nations, castes, and even among devotees. This inclination toward quarrel and hypocrisy is so powerful because the diseased condition that we put ourselves in the center, we prioritize just what gives me pleasure above all others. I and mine. Janasya moho yamaham mameti. Srimad Bhagavatam describes this as the source of all entanglement, illusion, and suffering, the misconception of I and mine. Krishna consciousness is to put Krishna in the center. When we water the root of the tree, automatically that water naturally reaches every part of the tree. When we actually put Krishna in the center, then we understand Krishna's will, that we live in a spirit aspiring to be compassionate toward others. As far away as we may be from this state of consciousness, by associating with devotees, by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat Chaitanya Charitamrita, and these Vaishnava literatures, we aspire for and we cultivate this principle as our real success in life. Fortune, wealth is in pleasing Krishna. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna, with the heart of Sri Radha's compassion, is teaching us the greatest aspiration. Gopi bharatur padakamalayor das 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 anudas. To approach the gopis' love for Krishna, we need to aspire to be the servant of the servant of the servant. We perform our sadhana, we seek out the association, and we try to live our lives in such a way to cultivate this consciousness. And even though in this material world, people may criticize or consider it impractical, it really doesn't matter, because this material world, Krishna tells, what's the time of awakening is the time to sleep for devotees. And what people are asleep to in this world, devotees are very much awake and alert. So we can never compromise in our hearts the ideal we should strive for. Even while dealing with so many complexities, perplexities, and challenges in this world, sometimes to succeed in the world and to embrace Vaishnava qualities seems to be a contradiction. But actually, the very art of Vaishnavism is to integrate the two by sincerity, by striving to cultivate humility, courage, enthusiasm, and determination, by chanting Krishna's names, by hearing the glories of Krishna and his devotees from the scriptures, and by associating with those within our society who are dedicated to uplift one another. Krishna tells, abandon all varieties of religion and surrender to me. Sarvadharman parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja. In this sense, Srila Prabhupada has entrusted us with this gift of surrender. And part of that surrender is, as Srila Prabhupada said, you can show your love for me by how you cooperate in this great mission of Mahaprabhu. And sowing our love for Srila Prabhupada is sowing our love for Krishna. So, are we really surrendered? Are we really surrendered to faithfully dedicate quality time to our sadhana of hearing and chanting? Are we really sincere in our efforts to surrender to the will of Krishna and Srila Prabhupada by trying to actually be a part of uplifting the society with Krishna consciousness, both within and without? I am very grateful, very honored, and very happy to be with all of you today for our virtual Vrindavan Yatra. In Sri Vrindavan Dham, Krishna, who is the absolute truth, the cause of all causes, the source of everything that exists, the father, the mother of every living being, is forever having loving exchanges with his devotees in the most simple and innocent ways, as a cowherd boy. In the Srimad Bhagavatam and in the commentaries of the great acharyas, we find that when Krishna leaves Nandagram, Nandishwar, in the early morning, what an incredible festival of love takes place. In fact, anything Krishna does is celebrated. Sometimes with laughter, sometimes with tears. When Krishna would prepare himself with his friends to go out, Yashoda Mai would arrange lunch for him, and Nanda and Yashoda, they would feel such inconceivable loss, thinking that Krishna was going to be gone all day into the forests and pastures of Vrindavan. And the gopis, they were beside themselves. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he taught us this. Yugayatam nameshena chakshusha pravrishayatam sunyayatam jagat sarvam govinda virahena me. Even a moment not seeing Krishna is like hundreds of yugas, ages. And when Krishna would see the loving tears of the young gopis as he was leaving Vrindavan, they would follow him. And somehow Krishna, through various gestures and messengers would have them stop. And Sanatana Goswami tells that Krishna felt even more pain than the gopis in his heart, to see the pains in their heart when he would enter into the forest. And his friends, Balaram and others, the Gopas, they would have to actually hold him and pull him into the forest of Vrindavan. and Yashoda Mai, Nanda Maharaj, the Gopas and the Gopis, they couldn't return homes at the beginning. They would just stand and watch Krishna enter the forest. And Krishna would inspire their hearts and give them the connection that he was never apart from them. When he would play his flute, they wouldn't see him, but they could hear him. And as he would go deeper and deeper into the forest, they would stand motionless like painted pictures, just hearing Krishna's flute. One particular day, Krishna was playing with his friends. How he would play. Sometimes Krishna would play his flute, and through the sound of his flute, he could communicate the very will of his heart to any living being. The cows, the goats, the buffaloes that Krishna would be herding with his friends. With a particular note of the flute, the cows would understand it's time to drink water. And they would all gather at either the river Yamuna or one of the beautiful lakes of Vrindavan to drink water. At another time, Krishna would play a note in a song on his flute, and the cows would understand it's time to lay down and take rest in a very comfortable place. Krishna would play. The Gopas, his friends, they would be completely absorbed in playing together. Sometimes they would play in the river Yamuna. They would splash. The little cowherd boys would splash each other. And then Krishna, just seeing them splashing each other, and the splash was an offering of love. In this world, sometimes we have competitions where we splash each other and we hurt each other's eyes and everything like that. But in the realm of true bhakti, everything is an offering of love. Here is the ambrosial, sweet, sacred water of Yamuna, splashing it on each other. What is that? The Yamuna is the flowing of Sri Radharani and Sri Krishna's grace. They're sharing that grace with each other. They're sharing Sri Radharani's love with each other. Vishaka, a personal expansion of Srimati Radharani, personally expands to become the Yamuna in the spiritual world. So they're just sharing Krishna's grace. And they're doing it in such a sweet way that it appears that they're fighting. And Krishna sees it and he's very happy. He's so happy to see all the cowherd boys playing with one another and having exchanges with each other. And then Krishna comes and he splashes in such a way that it's like waves that cover the cowherd boys with this offering of his love. And sometimes when Krishna's doing that, some of the cowherd boys come behind Krishna. And as soon as Krishna turns around, they splash right in his face as hard as they can. Now, this may seem disrespectful. If somebody did that to you or me, we would probably be quite angry at that person. But when they would do this for Krishna, the nature of their relationship was such that Krishna would experience immense pleasure. He would find more pleasure in being splashed by a cowherd boy in the face than he feels great sages and rishis, even in the heavenly worlds, chanting mantras and doing yagyas and making so many offerings in the temple. More pleasing than devotees building temples or offering, millions of dollars in donations. Fasting for the pleasure of Krishna for many, many days. Krishna would find more pleasure being splashed in the face by a cowherd boy, because it is being offered with sincere love and devotion. The cowherd boys, along with Krishna and Balaram, they would, in so many creative, wonderful ways, they would make the river Yamuna into musical instruments. And they would actually keep rhythm and play music with the water. Sometimes they would cross the river. Sometimes they would be swimming upstream, sometimes downstream, sometimes across the stream. And in other times, Krishna would see a cluster of beautiful lotus flowers, blue lotus flowers in the river. And he would hide from all his friends. His whole body would be underwater and just a little part of his face would be behind the lotus flowers. And the cowherd boys would be looking and looking and looking for a long time. They could not find Krishna anywhere until they began to cry in separation from Krishna. And then Krishna would emerge from the lotus flowers and reveal his beautiful darshan to his friends, where they would collect those lotus flowers and other flowers that were growing in the river and decorate Krishna, and Krishna would decorate them, and they would all decorate each other. When they would come to the bank of the Yamuna River, they would sit in concentric circles to partake of their lunch. Krishna would serve each and every cowherd boy. There was the lunch that was packed by the mothers of each cowherd boy. And then there was the different fruits that were collected by the cowherd boys as they were roaming through the pastures. Krishna would serve them the both. He would serve in such a way that he would come to each boy and move backward and forward, and as if he was dancing. In fact, he was dancing. He knew exactly what each boy liked best, and he would serve them that. In Vrindavan, the fruits of all seasons would grow on the kalpabriksha trees in every season. Krishna, as he was serving each cowherd boy, and they were eating, Krishna would take a morsel from the plate of each boy and eat it himself. And simultaneously, as Krishna was eating from each cowherd boy, each boy, as they were eating, the thing that they liked the best, that was the really satisfying them most, they would personally put in Krishna's mouth. And Krishna would express such jubilance. He was like a rainstorm of humor and happiness as he would taste the sweetness of these boys' devotion. Sometimes it was food that came right out of a cowherd boy's mouth that he would put in Krishna's mouth. Krishna would laugh. Krishna would praise each preparation. And each cowherd boy was thinking that Krishna's feeding only me. Although there was limitless cowherd boys in all directions, Krishna's only looking at me. He's only coming to me to feed me and accept the food that I'm placing in his mouth. In this way, bubbling with happiness, everyone was just exchanging and sharing love with Krishna. Sometimes the cowherd boys, seeing Krishna in a humorous mood, would try with all their strength not to laugh. This was a challenge to Krishna. So Krishna, with more innovative and heartfelt ways, he would somehow always defeat all the gopas and make them laugh. In this way, the supreme absolute truth, the source of all incarnations, the creator, maintainer, and destroyer of all universes, plays like an ordinary child, conquering his devotees with love and happily being conquered by his devotees' love. One day they were playing in a forest of Vrindavan. That forest is named Bandiravan. In Bandiravan, an asura, Pralamba, came. He was sent by Kamsa. He disguised himself as one of the cowherd boys. He appeared so innocent, such a loving friend of Krishna. But his purpose was to kill Krishna and Balaram. And by killing Krishna and Balaram, by literally exterminating the whole Brijavasi community. Krishna and Balaram, they became two teams, one headed by Balaramji, one headed by Krishna. And they had so many games that they played. The loser had to carry the winner. Krishna's side very happily lost the game. And Krishna, to show the whole world for all time that he was defeated, he carried his friend Sridama on his back. And Balaram was carried by Pralamba. Bhaktivinoda Thakur tells us that this asura of Pralamba, he represents a very important warning for each devotee. That sometimes our enemies appear to us in the guise of friends. Especially selfish desire, kama, or lust. The idea of lust, the idea of greed, from within our own minds, we're thinking that this will make me happy. But actually, it's the cause of bondage, suffering, and fear of death. these enemies that are within us, lust, anger, greed, arrogance, illusion, create so much animosity among each other. And we only live under their dictation because somehow or other they're under the guise that they're our friends who can make us happy, who could give us pleasure. But Balaram, who is represented by the spiritual masters, by the grace of the spiritual masters, they teach us who is really our friend. And by the mercy of Balaramji and his representatives, we can actually overcome and defeat the enemies within and without. While they were playing in so many beautiful ways, at Vrindavan, the cowherd boys and Krishna and Balaram, the cows and the sheeps and the goats and the buffaloes, they wandered off. On this particular day, Krishna and Balaram and the Gopas were so totally absorbed in their enjoying playing with each other that they did not take notice that the cows and other animals had gone astray. The cows were thirsty. They were hungry. They went deeper and deeper from one forest to another. At a certain time, they were lost. They came to a forest of the name Munja. There, they were lost, and it was very hot. They were so tired, and there was no grass. There was just hard spears growing out of the ground. They cried. Very loudly they cried. Meanwhile, a long distance away, the Gopas, they realized in their play that all the cows were gone. They repented that they neglected them, but they didn't know where they were. In great anxiety, they searched for the cows. In the spiritual world, this idea of anxiety is, as Sukadev Goswami describes, it's actually a higher pleasure than even liberation and total peace, because it's in a purified state of compassion. As is often stated, when we realize the treasure of love within our heart, it is expressed through compassion. And this type of compassion in its perfected state is even there forever in the spiritual world. The cowherd boys are with Krishna. They're with Balaram. What could be a happier experience than that? So why are they in anxiety? If you're playing with Krishna, if you're face to face, being glanced upon by Krishna, seeing Krishna's beautiful smile, hearing him play his sweet flute, if Krishna is blissfully accepting the offerings of every gesture we make, and we are drowning in this Karuna Sindhu, in this ocean of Krishna's love, how can there be anxiety? This is a very inconceivable sacred principle. The gopas playing with Krishna are feeling anxiety because the calves and the cows who are dear to Krishna, they may be in danger. They may be even suffering. This is society for Krishna consciousness. That when there's real love for Krishna, samsiddhir haritoshanam, then our love is expressed by pleasing Krishna, and Krishna is pleased most. Not only when we love and serve him and remember him always, but when we feel compassion for those who he loves. And ultimately, Krishna loves everyone. So, how to find them? They searched and then came to the conclusion that let us look on the ground for the hoof prints of the cows. And even where there's no footprints, we could look at the blades of grass and see if any grass has been stepped on or even cut by the teeth of the cows. And in this way, they went deeper and deeper and deeper into that forest. Krishna called for the cows. By his love for his devotees, which is not limited to any rational, logical conceptions of this ever-changing world, he would call one name, and each cow, each goat, each buffalo would hear their own name personally called by Krishna. And even though they were in the forest and they were so hungry and so thirsty and so hot and so tired and so lost, when they heard Krishna calling their name personally, each one of them personally responded by chanting Krishna's names in their own ways. This is Vrindavan. The devotees are forever chanting Krishna's names. Golokera Premadana Harinama Sankirtana. And Krishna's forever chanting the names of his devotees. Even the trees, even the insects like the bees and the birds, everyone would hear their own name personally sung by Krishna, by his own sweet will. And they were reunited. The cows and the cowherd boys, and all of the very beautiful animals, they were just overjoyed. And it was coming toward evening. So the cowherd boys began to herd the cows back to the home in Nandagram. Suddenly, they were surrounded on all sides by a massive forest fire. This fire was like impenetrable walls on all sides of them. The flames seemed to be reaching the sky. The wind served like a chariot to carry the flames closer and closer and closer from all sides. The heat, the sight of the fire was just insurmountable and incredible. At that moment, the cowherd boys were so stunned as well as all the cows and the animals, they stared in the fire. Then they stared upon Krishna. And they cried to Krishna, "O Krishna, O Balaram, you are both so powerful. We are your friends. We are completely taking shelter of you. We surrender to you. Please help us." Srila Prabhupada writes that the cowherd boys, they looked upon Krishna as a person on the verge of death, in fear of death, would look upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna smiled at them. Each and every devotee who's assembled, this is not just something to listen to with our ears. This is when we're hearing Krishna's pastimes, we're actually entering into that pastime. These beautiful descriptions which are given in such detail in the scriptures are meant to help us to feel a part of it. Imagine being surrounded by such a blazing fire. They took shelter of Krishna. Krishna, he told them, "Close your eyes and don't be afraid." Other incarnations, we see the Lord, Varahadev, Narsinghadev, Ramchandra, how they take such magnificent, powerful forms to slay the enemies who are about to destroy the devotees. But Krishna in Vrindavan, so innocent, so playful, so sweet. In this most dangerous and fearful condition, he smiles and tells his friends, "Close your eyes and don't be afraid." And the friends, they all said together, "All right." And with complete confidence in their innocent, loving friend Krishna, they just closed their eyes. Bajahure manashri nandanandana abhay charanara vindare. They had such trust in Krishna's words. They were completely free of all fear. When their eyes were closed, Gopal Krishna, he opened his mouth and swallowed the entire fire in a moment. In various parts of the world, recently, because of climate change and whatever other influences of Kali Yuga, there have been vast forest fires. And people have to evacuate their homes. Sometimes it takes days, weeks, or months of thousands of firefighters and airplanes with all sorts of technologies to try to not even extinguish the fire, but just control it. This fire was mightier, more dangerous than all the forest fires we could imagine in this world. And yet the Gopas, with complete faith in their friend Krishna, they just closed their eyes. And Krishna, in a moment, swallowed the fire. When the devotees opened their eyes, they saw that they were not only safe, that the fire was gone, but they were back in Vrindavan, the forest that they had strayed away from long ago. And in great happiness, they were thinking, how is it that Krishna has done this? Because of their love for Krishna as friends, Sakyaras, they could not conceive of Krishna as God. But still, how could he extinguish that fire in a second and transport us to Vrindavan when we just blinked our eyes for a moment? By Krishna's Yogamaya potency, Krishna is not ordinary. Perhaps he's a devata, he's a demigod. But then, if he's a demigod and we're playing with him on an equal platform, even sometimes defeating him in our play, then we must also be demigods. If Krishna is a demigod, we are also demigods. And in this way, they really didn't care about these formalities. They simply loved Krishna and returned to the forests of Vrindavan. As they were coming home to Nandishwar Nandagram, coming closer, Krishna played his flute in a very special way to awaken the hearts of all of his devotees. For so many hours, the devotees in Nandagang, the Gopas and the Gopis, were in separation from Krishna. Unity in separation is exhibited in the spiritual world the same way we practice it here in this world. They would help each other remember Krishna by singing his names, by singing his pastimes, by singing about his qualities. Although the devotees in Nandagram had so many duties to perform, whatever duties they did, they were absorbed in remembering Krishna. And they were all helping, nourishing each other with remembrance of Krishna through their words and their songs. When Krishna played his flute, just like when he would call the name of a cow, the cow would hear her own name and would respond. When Krishna would play his flute, each devotee would hear Krishna resonating his love within their hearts. And their limitless love would awaken to even a more limitless state. This is Vrindavan. As he'd returned from the forests and the pastures, the gopis, headed by Srimati Radharani, would be standing with eyes like honey bees hovering over the beautiful lotus face of Krishna, with tears of ecstatic love, union after long separation. And they would share with each other their appreciation for Krishna's flute. Srila Prabhupada in his Krishna book and Srimad Bhagavatam describes in so many ways what Sukadev Goswami has given to us. The power of the love that is generated from the music of Krishna's flute. In Vrindavan, the moving living beings would sometimes be stunned, immovable. And the non-moving beings, they would uncontrollably tremble or sometimes even melt in the ecstasy that thrilled their hearts. The river Yamuna, it would break its natural current and flow in various ecstatic whirlpools. Sometimes it would even reverse its course and go opposite directions or all directions. And in celebrating its joy, lotus flowers would bloom from the Yamuna upon the sound of hearing Krishna's flute. And cows, their ears would go up and drink the nectar of Krishna's flute as tears of love would fall from their eyes. And their little calves, who would be drinking the milk from their mothers, would taste such a higher experience that they would stop drinking the milk of their mothers. They would just hear Krishna's flute, the ultimate nourishment for the heart and the soul, and stand there motionless with tears of love as an offering in reciprocation would flow from their eyes. These little calves. And trees, when they would hear the sound of Krishna's flute, such music, they would celebrate spontaneously with so many flowers and fruits just budding and sprouting simultaneously. And all the birds of Vrindavan, they would sit motionless in total silence, close their eyes and listen, hear the sweetness of Krishna's flute in their hearts. Peacocks would dance. Sometimes when Krishna was with his friends in the forest, he would play his flute and dance, and and many, many peacocks would gather around him. And they would dance for Krishna's pleasure. And reciprocating with the loving offerings of the peacocks and peahens, Krishna would dance for them. And sometimes Krishna would give so much pleasure to the peacocks, they would all be dancing together. Although he was holding his flute, it wasn't even on his mouth. The flute would play itself. Incredible, sweet, beautiful music would flow from the flute in Krishna's hand as he was dancing. Seeing this, Krishna would be struck with wonder. All the peacocks would be struck even more with wonder. And among all the peacocks, they presented a beautiful, wonderful peacock feather in appreciation for Krishna. And Krishna, he saw such value in that simple feather that he personally put it in his turban on top of his head to wear forever. This is Vrindavan. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Patram Pushpam Palam Toyam Yome Bhakta Prayachati, that if you offer with love and devotion, even a simple fruit flower or water, I will accept it. In Vrindavan, there are limitless peacocks, and each peacock has so many feathers. There are countless peacock feathers. Even today, if you go in Vrindavan, even the poorest person could just be walking along a pathway and collect peacock feathers. What is its value? Because these peacocks, so much appreciating Krishna's mercy and grace upon them, so much intoxicated by the song of his flute, they, with love, all of them together offer Krishna a single peacock feather. And to glorify this act of devotion for all of eternity, Krishna keeps that peacock feather on top of his head. Srimati Radharani and gopis, sometimes they would describe Krishna's flute, that the rivers are like the mothers of the flute. Because as a mother nourishes a child with her milk, the river has nourished the bamboos. And because the rivers are the mothers of the flute, when they hear Krishna's flute, they are so proud that they blossom with flowers. And the bamboo stalks are like the forefathers of Krishna's flute. And when they hear the beautiful flute of Sri Krishna, tears of sap ecstatically flow from them. During the Govardhan Leela, when Krishna was lifting the Govardhan hill, he was 7 years old. He was holding this magnificent king of mountains, Giriraj, with the little finger of his left hand. And at a certain time with his right hand, he put his flute to his mouth and played it. At that time, the Brijabasis, they became very much concerned because they knew the power of Krishna's flute and how it affects Krishna's devotees. Someone said, Krishna, please stop playing your flute because Giriraj, who is Haridas Varya, your dearmost devotee, if he hears your flute, he may fall from your finger and crush everyone. Or he may melt in ecstasy and drown everyone. And another devotee said, no, Krishna, please continue playing your flute because Giriraj is very sober. He will be very happy to give us shelter. On the Sarat Purnima, the full moon of the autumn season in the month of Kartik, when Krishna, at 8 years old, wanted to enjoy the most intimate, inclusive expression of spiritual love, the Rasa Leela. He saw the moon rising. He saw how the moonrise was affecting the forest of Vrindavan and played his flute, Bamsi. When Krishna played flute, it was not just music. It was the deepest expression of compassion and love. The prema, the supreme unlimited love of Krishna's heart would flow through his lips into the flute and form music, the source of all music. In every part of the world, people love music. Even birds and animals love music. Music is such a universal experience that gives solace to those who are suffering, gives joy to the mind. It's therapeutic. So much of the best memories that all of us have in our lives are awakened in music. I happened to see Gaurvani Prabhu sitting so nicely. I can see some of you. This is a great miracle, actually. Gaurvani Prabhu, his beloved mother, Rukmini Devi, and father, Bardraj Prabhu, they were under the great influence of Srila Prabhupada's mercy, so attracted to the music of kirtan. Gaurvani Prabhu was born in kirtan. He was conceived in kirtan. And how much he inspires the world with kirtan. Music is such an important part of everyone's life. What awakens nationalism is playing national anthems. Every country in the world has their national anthem where they're gathering in stadiums or they're in schools, and somehow or other it makes them proud of their nation when they hear it. Political parties have music. Sports events have music. In the cinema or movie industry, very, very important part is the soundtracks of music to set the mood, to invoke. So music is so much a part of our life, everyone, and it's always been. The origin of all music is the love of Krishna's heart flowing through his flute. That beautiful sound. It entered into the ears, the minds, and the hearts of each and every gopi. And each gopi, through the sound of Krishna's flute, could hear Krishna personally calling for them. And it was in that state that the most profound, inclusive, and deepest sense of surrender was revealed. Whatever sense of security, whatever sense of attachments there may be for young girls in this world, they left it all behind to run to reciprocate with the call of Krishna's flute into the forest. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the crest jewel of all sannyasis. Sukadev Goswami, his renunciation and detachment is unparalleled in the history of creation. Sri Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami. The type of renunciation that they exhibited in their lives, no one could imitate. But yet, these most exalted, detached, and renounced people they all glorify that the love of the gopis, the surrender of the gopis, is the ultimate renunciation. And what is that renunciation? The beautiful dancing, loving pastimes of Krishna with gopis is nothing like the experience anybody could have in this material world. Previously, the gopis, by offering their cloth at Chirghat, offered their hearts, their lives, their egos to Krishna. Their only aspiration was to give Krishna pleasure. This is surrender. This is the true sense of renunciation. Not just giving up things, but wholeheartedly, body, mind, words, life, what will please Krishna. Reciprocating with Krishna's will, his desire. In that state of renunciation, in that state of love, they all gathered at the Bamsi Vat, where Krishna was waiting for them. And performed the Rasa Leela. When Krishna disappeared from all the gopis every gopi was thinking, Krishna's only dancing with me. It was discovered that he left all other gopis to be with the supreme gopi, Sri Radha. In this wonderful pastime, Krishna reveals the love of Sri Radha. In fact, Krishna himself exclaims that I learned to play the flute from Srimati Radharani. How is that? Because it's her love for him that nourishes him with so much love for all living beings. That is the reciprocal mode of how Krishna and Sri Radha. Radharani is forever conquered by Krishna, and Krishna is forever conquered by Sri Radha. And that love is the source of all love in all of existence. It's that love that is dormant within the heart of every being. Srila Sanatana Goswami tells story. There was a cowherd boy, Sarupa, who previously was Gopakumar. He was in Goloka Vrindavan, none different than Gokula Vrindavan in this world. As a cowherd boy, early in the morning, he was so eager and anxious to go into the pasture grounds to play with Krishna for the whole day. But before the Gopas went out to the pastures, Srimati Radharani called for him. And she told him that there is a person who's coming from Mathura. He's a devotee of Durga. He's coming to one of my groves in Vrindavan. I want you to meet him. Give him instructions. Console him in the difficulties and sufferings he may be having in this world. And help him to connect with Krishna's grace. And I will be pleased with you. Sarupa was thinking, that the ultimate enjoyment is to be with Krishna. He's expecting me in the pastures. But what could be higher and what could be a more pleasing act of devotion for Krishna than pleasing his beloved Sri Radha? So he didn't go out that day, but rather he met with this Brahmin, this person. And by Sri Radharani's mercy, through Sarupa, that person became an ecstatic lover of Krishna, almost instantly. This very simple story tells so much. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the mood of a devotee, after taking his diksha from Ishwarapuri, was on his way to Vrindavan. But in the mood of Sri Radha, her love, he didn't go to Vrindavan, the most cherished aspiration of his life, but went to Navadvip to establish the Sankirtan movement. Namo Mahabharanaya Krishna Prema Pradayate. Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Godat Feshe Namaha. To share this love for Krishna, to give instructions, to console the suffering and help people of this world who are suffering to connect with Krishna's grace. He instructed Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas from the house of Srivas, where they were having like a Rasa Leela of Kirtan together, the devotees. He told Nityananda and Haridas, go to each and every house, to every bathing guest, to every shop, and give this message. Chant Krishna's names, worship Krishna, hear about Krishna, remember Krishna. Krishna's your mother, your father. Krishna's the real treasure of your life. Krishna's your life and soul. And Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur, they could have been dancing and singing with the devotees in the beautiful Rasa Leela of Srivasa's house, but they were out taking so many risks. Sometimes people reciprocated with gratitude. Other times they blasphemed them, they condemned them, they threatened them, they threatened harm to them. And ultimately, they went to Jagai and Madhai. Why would two such gentle, loving devotees want to associate with Jagai and Madhai? They were violent. They were slaughtering animals with their own hands and eating them. They were killing people. They were raping people. They were burning people's houses. They were arrogant, belligerent, intoxicated. Nobody would go near them out of fear. They were so contaminated. But Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas went to them. It is Lord Chaitanya's will that you chant the name of Krishna. And even when they were chased, Jagai and Madhai intended to murder them on the spot. They ran away. But on another day, Nityananda Prabhu came back. And ultimately, Jagai and Madhai, Dina hina yatachilo harinamud harilo tara sakshi Jagai Madhai. By the power of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, which comes through the chanting of the holy names of Sri Radha Krishna, Jagai and Madhai became purified. Trinadapi Sunichena, they became humble like blades of grass, forgiving, tolerant, respectful to all. And they actually entered into the eternal pastimes of Sankirtan with Lord Chaitanya. This is the mood of Sri Radha's compassion. And as was explained a few minutes before by Gauranga Prabhu, Srila Prabhupada was living in Sevakunj. The Radha Damodar temple is actually the eternal place where Krishna performs Rasa Leela with Sri Radharani and the gopis. Srila Prabhupada was there for years. And Srimati Radharani's Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadapayam Tadati Swapadantikam. Sri Rupa Manjari, an expansion of Sri Radharani's love. Sri Rupa Goswami, who understood the heart of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu perfectly. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself told us this. He said, when I saw the humility, the sincerity of Rupa Goswami, I embraced him at Prayag. And when I embraced him, I infused his heart with my love. Radha Bhava Duti Suvalitam Nomi Krishna Swarupam. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna with the heart of Radharani's Mahabhav, her love. Sri Radha's love was infused in the heart of Rupa Goswami. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained to his devotees that I have completely empowered him and entrusted my teachings, my culture with Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. Srila Prabhupada, he was not only living in the Sevakunj of Vrindavan, the place of the Rasa Leela, but he was living right beside the Bhajan Kutir and Samadhi of Sri Rupa Goswami. And through his years of preparing himself to carry out the instruction of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, and his Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada told that Srila Rupa Goswami personally appeared to Srila Prabhupada and gave his blessings. He gave his empowerment to spread Lord Chaitanya's message throughout the world. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, in one beautiful prayer, he tells that for one who gets the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even if he is lame with no legs, he could cross over mountains. Even if he's dumb, with no power to speak, he could speak the most eloquent poetry. And even if he's blind, he could see the farthest stars in the sky. Inconceivable. But the Lord's mercy is inconceivable. Here was Srila Prabhupada, 69 years old. He had never been outside of India. He had no money. There was no one in the world that was prepared to help him in any way, because it was impossible. Somehow, Sumati Murarji, one lady in Mumbai, gave Srila Prabhupada a free passage on a cargo ship. In our sampradaya, we are Rupanugas. We are following in the footsteps of Sri Rupa Goswami. Srila Prabhupada, with the blessings of his guru, Sri Rupa Goswami, who was completely empowered with Srimati Radharani, Mahaprabhu's love, blessed Srila Prabhupada. And that's what Srila Prabhupada came to bring us. And the Jaladuta Prabhupada prayed to be a puppet. He came to connect us with that infinite flow of supreme grace that is forever existing in the holiest of places, Sri Vrindavan Dham. Wherever he went in the world, not only did he carry Vrindavan Dham in his heart and share it with us through his words, through his glance, through his kirtans, through his books, and through the society he created, but directly he was caring and distributing the divine grace of Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Radha's grace. In our yatras, there are many places, many instructions, many stories. But ultimately, they transform our hearts when we have a sense of deep appreciation and gratitude. Sri Sanatana Goswami tells that the gopis exhibited the supreme ultimate state of humility. On a spiritual level, humility is a symptom of prema, or ecstatic love. Because when we love Krishna and we feel Krishna's love, we feel completely, totally dependent on that love. There can be no ego. And in this world, we're trying to practice humility, to prepare ourselves. But the perfection of life, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches Trinadapi Sunichena Taror Ibasahishnana Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari, to be humble, more humble than a blade of grass, tolerant, forgiving like a tree, eager to offer all respect to others and expect none in return. In this way, with this mood, Krishna will be pleased to reveal himself in his holy names. And then we could chant the holy names of the Lord constantly. The Namacharya of our Sampradaya is Haridas Thakur. And in every aspect of his life, whatever history we find, this principle of total courage and determination built on the foundation of humility is exhibited. In the most perfected state of ecstatic love, Dainya, or the perfected state of humility. It's a natural expression. And interesting, in many ways, we can understand Srila Prabhupada's words when he said that in Krishna consciousness, the goal and the way to the goal are the same. We learn to love Krishna by serving Krishna with love. By humility, we ultimately achieve eternal, the deepest ecstasy of true humility and love. In other words, the spiritual state of consciousness is completely opposite than the material consciousness. Material consciousness is it's about me. Spiritual consciousness, in its most full and inclusive state in Vrindavan, I belong to Krishna. Samsiddhir Haritoshanam, whatever pleases Krishna is my life and soul. Ashlisyava padaratam panashtumam. Lord Chaitanya, in the mood of Sri Radha, is teaching this principle. Krishna, if you like, you can make me so happy by embracing me. Or if you like, you could trample on me. Or make me brokenhearted by being separate and apparently away from me, neglecting me. You have every right to do whatever you please because I am your servant unconditionally. Such humility, such devotion, we cannot imitate. But that's what we aspire for. And Rupa Goswami, our Acharya, he taught us we should accept whatever's favorable to achieve that state and reject whatever is unfavorable. Srila Prabhupada in his books have given us elaborate teachings of how to live a life in Krishna consciousness. In our beautiful Vrindavan Yatra, we are coming to a close. I believe this is our last session. It's the first time we've had a virtual Yatra. And it's very special. I'm sure each and every one of us would so much rather be in Vrindavan. Physically, in that holy abode of Vrindavan. Actually, all year round, so many devotees are yearning and longing and counting the days for the Yatra, where we could put aside all of our worldly responsibilities and exclusively give our hearts and souls in the holy land of Mayapur, Puri, Vrindavan, in the association of devotees. We're from early morning till late at night. We're going to holy places. We're hearing, we're chanting, we're eating, we're honoring the most incredible, wonderful prasad. But this year, there's a special feature of our yatra. It's union and separation. We are in Vrindavan while being so far from Vrindavan. And Srila Prabhupada sometimes would give an example that you can take a thorn out of one's foot with another thorn. So similarly, the same technology that is the cause of so much distraction and bondage in this world, we're using to be together in the holy land of Sri Braj Bhumi Vrindavan. whether it's YouTube or Facebook or Zoom. I don't know what's going on. All I know is that, thousands of people in our lockdowns, in our homes, somehow many of us are seeing each other, feeling each other, sharing Krishna with each other. This particular virtual yatra, I sorry to tell you, but I'm completely unprepared. I actually practically or virtually had no preparations, but somehow or other, I'm sitting here alone in this little room, looking at a computer screen with this little lens of a camera in front of me. Usually these lectures, there's thousands and thousands of people. I'm seeing so many smiling faces, so many tears of appreciation, and a lot of people falling asleep. But there's a reciprocation. In such situations, we can appreciate that even if I really don't know anything, if the devotees are eager to hear, then by Srila Prabhupada's mercy, something good can come out of my mouth just so that they could be happy. It's not about me. It's about the qualification of those who have come to hear invokes the power to speak even within an unqualified person. And all of you gathered together in front of your computers, please recognize this good fortune that we can make as much spiritual progress, even more, if we're feeling this sense of separation and gratitude as we're receiving this beautiful opportunity that we're having. At this time, I'm feeling profound, heartbreaking separation from several of our devotees who have departed from this world in the last year. Many, I cannot recall all the names, but our beloved Shruti Dharma Prabhu, dearmost friend, leader of Bhaktivedanta Manor, His Grace Rameshwar Prabhu, who assisted Shruti Dharma Prabhu heroically through all challenges in London. His Holiness Srila Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj, an intimate, loving, completely empowered devotee of Srila Prabhupada and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who flooded the world with his love through his kirtans, his lectures, his culture, his kindness. In Mayapur, Rama Devi, one of the most exalted devotees, a preacher, a pujari. Over the years, she helped to facilitate as a midwife the birth of so many of our devotees in the second and third generations. And she spent her last years making beautiful dresses and outfits for Sri Sri Radha Madhava Panchatattva and Sri Mayapur Dham. Russia, one of the most difficult places to preach, and in especially the area near Siberia. His Holiness Nitai Chaitanya Swami Maharaj. Just recently, Krishna took him from us. He was one of those great devotees who, during the time of the Soviet Union, just to be a devotee and to preach had to risk his life in every way. His enthusiasm to preach, his humility, his courage, and such a friend to me and so many others. He has recently left us. And there are others, Ananda Kishori Devi, she lived in London, a most wonderful mother, a most wonderful wife, a most wonderful disciple, a most wonderful devotee. So graciously, she departed from this world, surrounded by the love of her relatives and devotees all over the world, praying and singing for her. It is a time when we feel separation from such great devotees. We can appreciate that in Krishna consciousness we're never separate. Srila Prabhupada taught us this, that if you're chanting Hare Krishna and I'm chanting Hare Krishna, we're always together. The spirit of the soul is forever. The nature of the soul is forever. One who gives their heart and their lives in Krishna's service to take shelter, we know that Krishna gives them shelter forever. In remembering the qualities of these great devotees, in remembering the exchanges we may have had with those devotees and what their devotional service represents, they're with us in our hearts. It is a fact. For the soul, there is no physical limitations. Krishna in our heart can reveal the love of all great souls to us from within our hearts. If we have this sense of gratitude and learn to feel the sorrows of separations with Krishna in the center, and they become the source of the sweetest union. So as we conclude this Vrindavan Yatra, let us pray that we can truly overcome the ego and the selfish propensities of ourselves and the manipulations of so many others in this world, and keep as the forefront of all of our aspirations to be the servant of the servant. Gratitude to Srila Prabhupada. Gratitude to all those who have represented and inspired us with Srila Prabhupada's mercy. And expressing that gratitude through the way we live, our actions, our words. Krishna has appeared to give us shelter in so many ways. Let us seek shelter, and let us share that shelter with others, because it is true, in giving we receive. Our Govardhan Eco-Village, in a spirit of remembering Vrindavan in separation, as a community, we developed the Vrindavan forest. And the devotees at Govardhan Eco Village, including myself, very sincerely and humbly request everyone to feel part of the family that that is connected. When we take a sense of responsibility in Krishna consciousness, we receive so much. This is the nature of seva. When we serve, we're receiving so much. So, of course, on one level, the Govardhan Eco Village, we really do need funds to sustain and to develop and the Vrindavan forest. But more importantly, by contributing to its nourishing this forest and sustaining it, we can actually feel a reciprocation. We're part of the family. It doesn't belong to them. It is ours. This idea of the projects of Srila Prabhupada being ours is not just theoretical, but it becomes a deep realization when there is a sense of responsibility for it. So I believe Krishna Chandra Prabhu is going to make an appeal. And if any of you would like to spontaneously be a part of this wonderful Vrindavan forest, we will just be so grateful, because together as a family, we're doing something in a special way to help each other and to help people of the world to feel the mood of Vrindavan in separation. And with these words, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. I am seeing Mandakini Devi, my very worshipable god sister, and I'm seeing Rukmini Devi, my worshipable god sister. I'm very humbled that you are with us today. I feel that your virtual glance is purifying the hearts of everyone all over the world.
Maharaj, would you like to lead us in Kirtan now? Then we can have the closing announcements as well as a vote of thanks for all those who made this possible. So,
why don't you do that first, and then we'll have Kirtan.
all right.
So, Shaman Prabhu, shall I just make a quick announcement?
Sure. Take your time.
First, of course, I don't know how with what words we can thank Maharaj. I mean, I'm saying that on behalf of all the almost 15,000 devotees who participated from all over the world. And these words sound hollow, even though I'm sincerely saying so, but I think all of us are overwhelmed by these 4 days. But behind all this, the planning that was done by the Yatra, we want to give deep thanks to so many devotees. And I'm hoping that you would be able to mention the names, and specifically including yourself. Most of you have seen in the beginning that we had the Dham Parikrama start with Vishwarup Prabhu and then ending every day with hearing Katha from the lotus mouth of Radhanath Swami Maharaj. You'd be happy to know that the shooting of the Vishwarup Prabhu's Dham Katha and all the other speakers was all done in the backdrop of the Vrindavan Forest of Grace at Govardhan Eco Village. And I have some very good news that I have been asked to give from the Govardhan Eco Village, that we're happy to announce that Govardhan Eco Village is now again open for all devotees with all safety measures in place. So the devotees can happily come and stay and experience the blissful, serene, devotional environment of the Vrindavan forest, especially in this month, holy month of Kartik. So all booking information and details are being sent to all of you by on WhatsApp groups. And of course, thank all these devotees. And of course, all of you who have also participated in this 4 days and also who have been helping in the support. And of course, the scheme, the Forest Sevak scheme, is open for the whole year, right up to next Kartik. So at any time anyone feels inspired and happy to help, you're most welcome. And please do take advantage of now that the Eco Village is opened, its doors, with full safety measures. Please await the details on your WhatsApp groups and come whenever you want to. I think this will be a perfect time to make the connection. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. So I think Krishnachandra Prabhu, you did most of my job here. I also was supposed to say thanks to especially the RG media team. A lot of nights, night outs, recording till 1 a.m., processing all those videos, making all that ready before the yatra begins. And again, I have been told that Vishwarup Prabhu really extended himself, even though he had some health situation. There was a lot of heat in GV, but then he came there and again he had to go back, again he came. GV management, the operations team and their officers on special duty, all managers, a big thank you. GV is also telling us they have reopened from 1st November. So all of you who can visit, please do come. GV is extending its hospitality. A big thank you to all the virtual yatris, which means each and every one of you, your participation. The registration was done so that we can just tell Maharaj how many devotees are eager to participate. And also the managers got their enthusiasm boost when they saw that there are 8,000 people. It just added to the enthusiasm. Otherwise, it was not like a paper registration and a big formal thing like we do for the physical yatras. But this really helped us to gain enthusiasm and serve all of you in the spirit. And as usual, Maharaj says there is no end to the yatra. As one yatra ends, we begin the meditation. We carry the vibration, we carry the message which Maharaj gives in our hearts till the next yatra begins. So we will now have our Kirtan. And there is also one announcement. There is a project. We will put the information on the screen here to transcribe more than few thousand lectures which are given by Radhanath Swami Maharaj. So this seva is open to all of you. There is an estimation that we need about 400 volunteers. So all those who are interested, we will put the URL on the screen, and you're all welcome to join this project of transcribing Maharaj's classes. So Maharaj, we can have Kirtan now.
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine
Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine
Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirbhishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Satharine
Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Satharine
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Brinda
Hare Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Brinda
Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Brinda
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jai Jai Prabhupada, Jai Jai Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Haribo. Shri Radha Gopinatha Radha Gopinatha Radhe.
Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radhe.
Shri Radha Gopinatha Radha Gopinatha Radhe.
Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radhe.
Jai Radha Gopinatha Radha Gopinatha Radhe.
Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radhe.
Jai Jai Radhe Jai Jai Shyam Jai Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham.
Jaya Jaya Radhe Jaya Jaya Shyam Jaya Jaya Shri Vrindavan Dham.
Jai Jai Radhe Jai Jai Shyam Jai Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham.
Jaya Jaya Radhe Jaya Jaya Shyam Jaya Jaya Shri Vrindavan Dham.
Jai Jai Radhe Jai Jai Shyam Jai Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham.
Jaya Jaya Radhe Jaya Jaya Shyam Jaya Jaya Shri Vrindavan Dham.
Jai Jai Radhe Jai Jai Shyam Jai Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham.
Jaya Jaya Radhe Jaya Jaya Shyam Jaya Jaya Shri Vrindavan Dham.
Jai Jai Shri Jai Jai Sri Radhe. Jai Jai Sri Radhe.
Swami Maharaj की, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की, कार्तिक वृंदावन यात्रा की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की, कलियुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी।
Thank you, Radhesham Prabhu, for that ecstatic kirtan and the chorus. So I would like to request the technical team to let me know when we shall be going off stream from YouTube and other sources, so we can go on to the next part of our program.
Are there any announcements, Prabhuji? Completely done with announcements?
We have done with everything.
Okay.